Then we'll look at the second take on what this could be. Is it going to be debuting the Women's Tag Team Championships? To me, honestly, they do have Bayley and Sasha Banks, which are wrapped up in one hell of, I guess you can say, a feud on Monday Night Raw. They had a perfectly good place to have the match at Extreme Rules. Basically they started fighting each other. They went to counseling. It didn't work. I really thought for sure that Extreme Rules we were going to see an impromptu match where they started out having the counseling in the back again and just started fighting and rolling their way out to the ring and settling it out there, and maybe not settling the feud, but at least, pushing us in the direction where they're hitting each other with kendo sticks and beating the crap out of each other to really make us really want to see a match. When it comes down to it, if they have a match at SummerSlam, is that really going to be enough to put them on the map? I know that we're coming up on the 3-year anniversary, I believe, of the TakeOver match where they had, the main event of the NXT TakeOver show, and then they went on and they would have a Iron Woman. They called it an Iron Man match. That's right, because they didn't want to. They basically Triple H asked Lita, and they thought it would be degrading if they called it an Iron Woman match because they were going out there and doing everything that a man could do. If they were to pair up, Sasha Banks and Bayley, I know that the last time we left, it was that Sasha Banks was telling Bayley, "I've always loved you," or, "I'm always going to love you," and that's got people sort of clamoring for a lesbian angle, something a lot like the lines of Trish Stratus, as well as Mickie James back in the day. I really don't see this coming to be. I don't think they're going to go down that direction. I know that we are, in 2018, and anything is possible. We've seen, we saw a lot of this stuff take place back in the 90s, the early 2000s, before it was really out there like it is today. It is a part of mainstream, things. But I think that honestly, with the way WWE runs the things, that if they were to do a lesbian angle, they would be scared that they would do something to hurt the way, lesbians or women would look at it, or they would hurt. They'd feel like they're hurting. Basically, they would try to be too politically correct to the point where they would offend people with what they were, trying to be doing, to be putting, them out there and play off the angle that they're doing. Women's tag team, I think that maybe they built the feud for Bayley and Sasha Banks to win the titles, if that's what a lot of people think they're going to be doing. But then, really, where do they go from there? Every month, do they just, they've got the Iconics, Peyton Royce and Billie Jean. That's not right. They've got them. They can go out there and win the titles and beat Sasha Banks and Bayley to maybe escalate their feud to where they actually go into singles matches. But then let's say the Iconics have a title. Who beats them? Every month you just pair together an impromptu tag team of, two women that don't have singles matches. Like on Monday Night Raw, we had Dana Brooke and Alicia Fox have a match. I love both of those girls. I love seeing them on Monday Night Raw, even if it is them losing a jobberish style match that they're going out there to lose. But do we want to see them paired together just to say they're paired together and they're on television? How many other teams can you really put together? Having him out there every once in a while, WWE or TNA puts somebody together like James Storm and Bobby Roode, calls them Beer Money, and they hit a home run, and they go on and they become a real tag team that has a real run. But for every one of those, how many paired tag teams have just you and you go out there and have a match and win the titles, and we'll just see how long we want to keep it on you, because we really don't have anything else for you, and we want to keep you on television. I'm not 100% sold on them bringing these tag titles. I know that TNA, I know that a lot of people won't want me to keep pointing at TNA for what they've already done with their women's division, but their Knockouts division was way better than the Divas division years ago. Just like TNA had a much better tag team division than WWE had it, but their tag belts, even though they really started out with Brooke and Tara, and then they went to the Beautiful People, and I think after that it ended up on ODB and Eric Young. And then because of the rules, there were basically a man couldn't hit a woman. They basically just stayed on them until both of them had left the company, and they had come back to the company and left the company, and they just never got him off them, so they just never brought him back and put him on television. They probably listed on their website as still current champions, even though Eric Young's wrestling for WWE right now. So I don't know. This is a really weird road to go down. You've already got 2 women's championships on both brands. I think that's enough for them. I think that, it would be a bright spot for this one feud, and then maybe the Iconics beating them, but then from there, who do the Iconics fight? And that's the first thing that I think about. So we'll see what happens on Monday Night Raw. Stephanie's going to be kicking that thing off, and historic announcement coming our way. Peace out, everybody.